Resident Evil Survivor Redo is a fan-made adaptation of the original Resident Evil Survivor game that was released for the PlayStation 1. And what's cool about this game is it does away with the icon of first-person viewpoint in favour of the original style of the fixed camera perspective of the original 3 games on the PS1. The game itself, from the information I found online, is the fact is that it was built on the old Resident Evil 2 engine, so it plays and feels very like Resident Evil 2. But the really cool thing about this version of the game, even though you can't play the entirety of the game, you can only play a certain portion of it, but it's enough to get an idea of how good this build is, as it keeps everything that was good about Resident Evil Survivor, but it just brings it back a notch to the point that it feels very like the original games, which in my opinion are the best versions of the games on the PS1, even in general, as they're my favourite versions of Resident Evil. But another thing to note is that even with the fixed camera perspectives, the developers have done a really good job with keeping all of the original 3D graphics and the visual style of the game that was apparent in the original version. So they've managed to keep as much of that as possible. So it really adds to the whole nostalgic element to it, but you're just seeing it from a different perspective, which is really, really cool. Now, we all know that Resident Evil Survivor wasn't the greatest game that was released on the PlayStation. It was essentially Capcom's first take on a first-person survival horror style game, but it is considered to be the worst Resident Evil game on the PS1. But having played this fan remake puts a whole new spin on things, because this here in itself would be another reason to go back and to play it and experience it all over again. And in my honest opinion, from this version of it that I've played, I would enjoy this 10 times more than I did enjoy the original game. Now, I did play the original game a lot and I did enjoy it for what it was, but I would sooner be able to play it like this here, as they've done a really, really good job in terms of what is available. Now, the one thing to note with this version of the game is that the ammunition is in limited supply, so you will have enemies and zombies that you'll have to avoid, so you won't be able to take them all out, so you'll have to sparingly use your ammo and even your health that you do collect at different intervals. But it's cool to explore a lot of the environments within the first portion of the game and to see it from that old school fixed camera viewpoint. In all honesty, it's 10 times better, and it really makes the whole experience way better than that of the original game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward with this development build, if it is something that the developers would want to continue on. But from first play of this here, I haven't really found anything in terms of any glitches or any issues with the game. It plays very like Resident Evil 2. It just has a very similar feel to it, and it will be very interesting to see where they go with this, whether they decide to completely redevelop the full game using this format. I personally would love to see that, and if so, I would genuinely play through the entirety of the game again, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, as it is a really cool take on an old school game, and it's been done to a really high standard. It's just done really, really well. And for me personally, I love these type of survival horror games, and even just these old school classic games. They are among my favourite ever, so this in itself is a really good trip down memory lane to experience something old but yet new at the same time. So it's a really cool idea. So I'll make sure to leave a link down below to the creator's channel down in the description, as they also do create other builds around other types of games that were inspired by a lot of other games on the PS1 similar to this. So be sure to go and check them out also, as you'll be able to see that for yourself. And I would love to know your thoughts on this fan-made version of Resident Evil Survivor for the PS1, and what do you think of it? Have you even managed to play it yourself? And do you think that this would be a very good version of the game to play compared to that of the original game on the system? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated when future videos are released. And if you'd like to see more videos around other types of fan mods and gameplay videos of games that were inspired by PS1 games from back in the day, then be sure to check out these playlists I have here on the screen and in the description, so that you can go and check them out and see what you think for yourself. So until next time, make sure to keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and keep those gaming memories alive.